So welcome everyone to the second session on the same topic which we're discussing from last few classes. We are discussing the sensitivity analysis concept. And what is basically a sensitivity analysis concept? It's like you are changing one particular variable from your pro forma statement. You are changing one particular variable, and by changing that variable, you are trying to measure the impact of that change of that variable on the NPV. So that is what we are trying to do here. So you can understand. Last class we started solving the question paper of this topic, sensitivity analysis, which came in the year 2017. So we are discussing the question which came in the year 2017. This is a question. This question came for 15 marks in 2017. Okay, the same question got repeated in 2016. The same question got repeated in 2016 also. So, and the same question came in 2020 also. So the same question came in 2020 also. So with this, you can understand the importance of this topic called sensitivity analysis. Okay. And yesterday, when while discussing the problem, I really suggest everyone to refer our session of yesterday to go through the today's session. So we have done uh, yeah, we have done till the calculation. We have done till the calculation of profit after tax yesterday. So you cannot rely on profit after tax. There are a lot of reasons are there. You studied about this in financial management in second semester. That profit after tax or earning after tax never talks about the bottom line of the company performance, because after all, it's just an accounting outcome. Okay, it's just an accounting outcome what you get after the payment of tax. So from your cost sheet, so the top figure was revenue and the bottom figure is profit. So you cannot rely simply on profit, because it can be based on the data which is accrual based. So that never talks about the cash position of the company. So for doing any kind of analysis, we rely on cash flows more than the profit after tax. So here I'll try to determine the operating cash flow. So how will I determine the operating cash flow? So I'll determine the operating cash flow. So I'll determine the operating cash flow by adding the depreciation. I'll add depreciation. I'll add depreciation. I'll add depreciation. Okay, I'll add depreciation on my profit after tax. So if I add depreciation on my profit after tax, so there's the same depreciation which I subtracted before the payment of tax. The same depreciation I'll add it here. So why you are adding it here? Because you need to understand depreciation, amortization, they are non-cash expense. So in reality, that money never went anywhere, but you did that adjustment in your book of account to save yourself from the payment of tax. So you need to add it back. And when you add it back, what you get, we call that as an operating cash flow. What we get, we call this as an operating cash flows. So operating cash flow is nothing but profit after tax, okay, plus depreciation. So the same depreciation which here we calculated, the same depreciation which here we calculated by working on WDV method. So you hope you remember we we worked on WDV method here. So we worked on WDV method here. By working on WDV method, the rate of depreciation given as per the WDV method was 25%. So 100 lakh rupees was the total cost of investment on plant and machinery, and 25% was the rate of depreciation. And the life of the plant is 5 years. So 5 year we did that adjustment, and finally 23 lakh rupees is the final terminal value what you're getting from the adjustment of depreciation, or you can call it a book value or salvage value. So that adjustment we'll do later on. So I hope you understand. So operating cash flow, many times, imagine if working capital is given also. So then we could have done further more adjustments. So from a profit after tax, so depend from textbook depend from textbook, depend from scenario to scenario. So the ideal way to calculate operating cash flow would be if you do EBIT 1 minus T, net operating profit after tax. This is called NOPAT, net operating profit after tax, EBIT 1 minus T plus depreciation and amortization. So you can write as plus non-cash expense, okay, minus change in net working capital, minus increase in current asset, minus increase in current asset, okay, and plus increase in current liability. You have to understand, if current asset increases, the cash of the company goes out, because current assets may be inventory, or it may be prepaid expenses, bill receivable, whatever your current assets are there. If you spend, or if you work on current asset, means you are creating an asset for your company. So that nothing in this world come for free. So definitely would have paid. So if you pay, means automatically the cash position of the company decrease. If you bring liabilities, if you borrow money, short-term loan, or anything you did, so ultimately that will bring cash to the company. So that's why increase in current assets subtracted and increase in current liability added, or you can directly subtract change in net working capital. So that is again another way to find the cash flow. So that can again the another way, different cash flows and all. If you refer any book on or textbook, they will tell you cash flows can be operating cash flow, free cash flow to equity, free cash flow to firm, capital cash flow. So if you get time, guys, you can spend some time reading about them. The like capital cash flow, what is capital cash flow, what is free cash flow, what is the difference between FCFE and FCFF, capital cash flow. So you can spend some time. I'm not getting it. Free FCFF, free cash flow to firm. So difference between FCFF and FCFE. You can read about them. The difference, free cash flow to firm, free cash flow to equity, how they're different. So this all create difference for you. The EBIT 1 minus T plus non-cash expense minus change in operating assets and liability, which I said change in net working capital, minus capital expenditure. Okay, so minus capital. How will you calculate the unlevered free cash flow? So this is the formula. Okay, minus capital expenditure. So minus capital expenditure minus capital expenditure. So if you do, you will get free cash flow. So again, the lot of discussions are going on that. You can spend some time to read about them. Okay, so you understand that much more better way. So here all that data is not given. So we will not go into more detail on this part. You can, I hope you understand this. So your operating cash flow I'll get. So you add non-cash expenses which you deducted before to save yourself from the payment of tax. Once you're done with that part, so what you can do, you can simply add them back, and you just what you get is called operating cash flow. Now see, this now the next thing is that you spent a working capital of 40 lakh rupees. So you spent a working capital of 40 lakh rupees. So many times it will be given in the problem that every year 40 lakh rupees was your working capital, means you bought inventory. Here working capital means probably you bought an inventory of 40 lakh rupees. And as the business, when the business started, you cannot simply start the business without inventory. No, I'm talking of manufacturing setup. So without, like, if I'm a teacher and tomorrow if I start a coaching institute, then maybe as such inventory will is my knowledge only. So I'll not spend money getting knowledge. Maybe I can buy some books or something, or maybe I take some online subscription, something like that. That way I can say that those are my inventory, so that I can account them under my inventory. But more or less, you can understand, whenever you start a business, you incur some form of requirement of inventory, which you can call under working capital. Now many times it is given in the problem that the working capital which you spent in the beginning, once the life of the project get over, you release the working capital. So here as such is not given, but so because in the problem it is given, but working capital was given in the problem of 40 lakh rupees. So what I'll do, I'll make an entry of release of working capital, and once the life of the project get over, I'll release this working capital. I'll release this working capital of 40 lakh rupees. Okay, so if you, because normally as such for this problem, when we are solving the problem of NPV and all, this data is as such, I don't think is required to be given. But if they gave, I saw many problems which is given in IM Pandey textbook for this chapter called determining cash flow. So there I saw that whenever working capital data was given, so while doing the adjustment at the end of the life of the project, they work on this treatment called release of working capital. So the same thing I'm adding here also. So if you want, you can ignore it also. So as such, there's no hard and fast rule to include this. They should give separately. In the question paper, it should mention that working capital will be released at the life of the project, at the end of the life of the project. Then definitely we should do the accounting of that part. But here as such is not given, but because I've seen in problems that in the textbook that they have done that. So I am also doing it. I hope you are getting my logic. So release of working capital. After that, the last thing is salvage value. Salvage value or book value. Salvage value, book value, terminal value, whatever you can say that. Salvage value means what is the value left for the plant. This I started this plant by putting 100 lakh. Okay, I spent 100 lakh rupees of cost incurring that 100 lakh rupees, although it is not given how I raised that 100 lakh rupees. Okay, so I had to put 100 lakh rupees of plant and machinery. I had to spend 100 lakh rupees of plant and machinery, and 40 lakh rupees I have to spend on working capital. So I totally altogether, I spent 140 lakh rupees. Okay, so altogether I spent 140 lakh rupees. So 140 with 140 lakh rupees, I started something. It is not given in what proportion I started. I raised that money 140 with debt, with equity. All that is not given. Which if it would have been given, I would have used the same data to calculate the WACC. Because it is not given, so I'm not talking about that part. So, but ultimately, after the life of 5 years, so the value what left with me, the value what left with me, that is 23 lakh rupees. So that is the value left with me. How that value left with, this is the book value. So by depreciating the 100 lakh rupees of my plant and by plant and machinery, so the 100 lakh rupees, because it is a fixed asset, so I keep on using them. Because I keep on using them, its value keep on decreasing at the rate of 25%. What is the value left after 5 years? So the value what is left after 5 years is like 1 minus 25% is the rate of depreciation after 5 years. What is the value left here? You can find this. This is the remaining book value. This is your remaining book value. This is your remaining book value. Okay, this is your remaining book value. I hope you are understanding. This is your remaining book value. This value left for you from the plant. So you can solve this. So I can do that adjustment. I hope you are understanding. So if I do this calculation, 1 minus 0.25 to the power 5 into 100 lakh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 lakh. So you can see this value left. This value left. I hope you are understanding. So many times know what happened. This is the book value. I hope you are understanding. This is the value left. This is the accounting value left. This is the accounting value left. Okay. The book of account, this is the value of the plant which is left. Okay, so when certain time when you're solving the problem, no, so you started something, no, you started a business by putting 100 lakh rupees of plant and machinery. and 40 lakh rupees of your working capital. So with 140 lakh rupees, you started a business, and then after 5 years, you sold this business. So after 5 years, you sold this business. Okay, so they may will mention terminal value, that after 5 years you will sell this business for 30 lakh rupees or 40 lakh rupees. I hope you understand me. So then if you require, you can do after. So that value at which you sell the business, the value at which you sell the business. So that value we call as salvage value. Okay, that value is salvage value or terminal value. I hope you understand it. So that value, whatever, if it given here, it's not given the problem. In case if it given, we'll call that value as salvage value, or if I write this as SV. Okay, so now what I can do, I can find this after tax salvage value. So what is after tax salvage value? In case if it given, although here is not given, that will be salvage value minus tax. What is the tax rate into salvage value minus book value. So you can do that adjustment. Salvage value minus book value. So because that adjustment you can do, and then that you can add here. So I hope you understand. So with this, I can find what is my fund from this operation. What is my fund from this operation? Fund from the operation means the sum of this operating cash flow plus the release of working capital plus salvage value. So as such, that this will make sense only in last year. See this? Anyone have any doubt? Ask me. Anyone, any doubt? Calculation wise, anyone have any doubt? I think everyone, please make a note of this. So once you're done with this, then I can do this initial investment, or I can write investment. So how much is your investment? Investment was 100 lakh plus 40 lakh, 100 lakh plus working capital of 40. Okay, exactly is written 140 lakh. Let me fix this cell. Okay, and then you cut off rate WACC. 12%. Anyone, any doubt? Then I'll find the present value of cash flow. So what I'll do, I'll find this, whatever is this value, I'll just count this with the WACC rate, which is 12% to the power, how many year, to the power this year. This was 0 year. Let me fix this first. Okay. Let me do this, then I'll fix. Okay, this will be from, this would be C24, right? So I just found the present value of this cash flow. I hope you're understanding. Present value, everyone understand, no? This value. What is the present value of this? What is the present value of this? 37 lakh divided by 1 plus 12% to the power 1. What is the present value of this? What is the 34.5 lakh divided by 1 plus 12% to the power 2? To the power 3, 4, 5, like this. Every year, I simply found their present value. Anyone, any doubt? Please ask me if you have any doubt. Once I'm done with this, then I'll find my NPV. What is my NPV? What is NPV? My initial investment. My initial investment plus the sum total of present value of my future cash flow. This is my present value of my future cash flow. So this will give you the NPV. Anyone? Mohan, last step, Mohan, is this. You got this cash flow, no, Mohan? You got this cash flow, Mohan. You got this cash flow. These all are the cash flow. No, what is NPV formula, Mohan? Your NPV formula is minus initial investment plus sum of present value of your future cash flow. Present value of your future cash flow. So these were your future cash flows. These were your future cash flows. This I discounted at 12%. I found the present value here. Once I found the present value here, I just did the sum of this minus my initial investment. What I did this minus my initial investment, minus my initial investment. Then remaining thing I'll plus this, plus these all are my cash flows I'm expecting. Plus this, plus plus this, plus this. That is your NPV. Okay, so once you get the NPV, once you get the NPV of the project, so you get the NPV. Once you get the NPV, so if you see in the question paper, so you have to indicate the financial viability of project by calculating the NPV. Yeah, I got the positive NPV. Now then determine the sensitivity of project NPV under the following condition. Decrease the selling price by 10%. Decrease the selling price by 10%. So what they are expecting you to, they want you to calculate the NPV again. They want you to calculate the NPV again by decreasing the selling price. So by decreasing the selling price, it is for me, it is required to find the NPV again. I have to decrease my selling price and I have to find the NPV again. 1 minute. I have to decrease my selling price and I have to find my NPV again. So what you did, you have to repeat the same steps, and by decreasing the selling price by 5%, your present selling price is 120 rupees. What is 5% of 120? That will be 6 rupees. So decrease the selling price by 6 rupees. So the selling price, if you decrease by 6 rupees, means the selling price will become how much? 114. So if your selling price become 114, then find the NPV. So same process steps you have to repeat again. So because I don't want you to waste my time repeating the same step again. In exam, you don't have any option. You have to do that. You have to repeat your same steps again to get the answer. So you have to do it step by step. Again in exam, again you have to find the NPV. Here I will not do all that because I have Excel. So I simply have to copy this value and I'll change it again. So I don't have to repeat my process. That's the reason why I'm solving this question in MS Excel. So its selling price decreased by 5%. Decreased by 5%. Decreased by 5% means what? Now the new selling price is 95% of the existing price. 95% of 120 because 5% decrease. So it becomes 114 rupees. So then the impact of 5% decrease of selling price on NPV, you can understand. So how much the NPV will get changed. That I'm trying to find it here. So for that again I have to repeat my steps. So that I'm trying to find it here. Okay, so let's do that thing again. So the if selling price decreased by 5%. So you know that I hope if you have understood the concept of NPV calculation, you can understand that if you increase the selling price, the NPV will increase. If you decrease the selling price, NPV will decrease. So here if the selling price is decreased by 5%, how much your NPV will get impact. So I'll just copy this data. I'll just copy this data. I'll just copy this data. Okay, and I'll just repeat the same step. I'll just repeat the same steps. And see, and all same. Nothing got changed because nothing should change. Nothing should change. Nothing should change. Depreciation. Depreciation should be in formula, right? Depreciation. There is no formula given. Copied it from there. And then here depreciation. Okay. Good. Then so nothing as such is in under form. So you can see here. So if you see in this calculation year, okay, lakh rupees of your sales, selling price 120, revenue, variable cost, okay, EBITDA, okay, then why NPV should change, correct, then this is 12%, okay, C54 to the power C5, okay, correct, yeah, this got changed. Salvage value, I have to fix the salvage value. What was the salvage value? This was the salvage value. Let me fix this cell. So if I change the salvage value, I should get the same NPV, 16,87,000, correct. Now, if I decrease the selling price by 5%, means if my selling price decrease by 5%, means it would become 114 rupees. The selling price become 114 rupees. Then you can see the impact on NPV. Then this much is your NPV. This is your NPV. I don't have to do that work again. So that is the advantage of using Excel. So I don't actually have to do the steps again. So this is your NPV. If your selling price decreased by 5%, then this is your NPV. So 120 rupees selling price has become 114 rupees. Okay, and then you know that if your selling price will decrease, your revenue will decrease. No impact on variable cost. So you can see how much the NPV got changed. So in exam, you have to do step by step. You can't do like the way I did, but the same steps you have to repeat. So that's why I am doing in Excel. I hope you got the logic. Anyone, any doubt? You can see this. Same thing. Imagine I'm writing, imagine that I have not copied and changed the value. Imagine that I was writing step by step. I did a lot of hard work, and just imagine, and then after doing all that hard work, I got this value. So if you want, I'll forward you this Excel sheet. If you want, I'll forward you this Excel sheet. You can copy the data from here. The last part of the question is that if increase in the selling, this is 2016. So this same thing. So in 2000, then it is increase in variable cost by 10%. So if I increase the variable cost by 10%, then increase in variable cost by 10%. I hope you understanding. Increase in variable cost by 10%. What will happen? 1 minute before I do that. Let me just fix this. Copy this. So increase in variable cost. I just copy this again. So now what I'm doing, increase in variable cost by 10%. Here the same thing, that increase in variable cost by 10%. So what is your variable cost? I think 60 rupees, no? Initial variable cost per unit initial variable cost per unit was 60 rupees. So if variable cost, so new variable cost per unit will be new variable cost per unit. If it increased by 10%, so 10% means 1.1 into 60 means it will become rupees 60. I hope you understand this. Now variable cost, no change in selling price. Variable cost, I'll change it. Variable cost per unit, I'll change it to 66. Then I'll see my NPV. This is sensitivity analysis. So I don't have to repeat my steps again and again, again and again. I'm just copying, changing the main variable. Automatically, my answer get changed. Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? Clear, right? If you want, I'll send you this. Whatever the Excel work I'm doing, if you want, I'll forward you if required by you people. Anyone want to ask anything? Can we go ahead? The last part of the question is increase in cost of plant and machinery by 10%. So if I increase the cost of plant and machinery by 10%, so increase the cost of plant and machinery by 10%, increase in the cost of plant and machinery by 10%. So if the cost of plant and machinery, if the cost of plant and machinery increased by 10%, so the new cost on plant and machinery, then the new cost on plant and machinery will be how much? That 10% if you increase 100 lakh, if you increase by 10%, how much it will become? 110 lakh. Can you understand, right? It will become rupees 110 lakh. Any doubt, anyone? So if you increase it by 100 lakh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, increase by 10%. Can you understand this? Anyone, any doubt? So if you change this cost of plant and machinery, automatically your depreciation will change. Automatically initial investment will change. So you have to again make the table of depreciation. This table of depreciation, what you made here, you have to make it again. You have to make it again. You have to make it again. Copy that. I have to make this table again. So if I make this again, you are getting this error and all. Excel wise, you don't have to worry. Simply copy this. Control C. Remove the formula. Control C. Okay. Control C. Paste spatial value. Remove the formula. Now this is 1 1 6 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Formula got removed. Now I have copied the formula. Anyway, there's no point. 25% of this, 25% is the depreciation. Remaining value is this minus your depreciation. Copy this, put it everywhere. Okay, this value, final value of first year become the last terminal beginning value of second year. Copy this. So you get the depreciation. Okay. You need this because depreciation got changed. And depreciation got changed, salvage value got changed, initial investment got changed. Now copy this part. You complete. Calculation. Copy from here. So here what all you change? Here I'll change depreciation. So here what you will change, here you will change depreciation. I'll change the value of depreciation. Copy depreciation, put it here. Copy the depreciation value because depreciation will change. I think by this time you should be in position to understand what all are changing, what all are not changing. Your depreciation value will change. Okay, your depreciation value will change. Then here when you'll add the depreciation, the depreciation value will change. And when the depreciation value will change, the salvage value will change. This is the salvage value. This will also change. So, and then when you talk about investment, the investment will not be 1,40,000. Initial earlier it was 1,40,000 because 100 lakh rupees was the cost of plant and machinery and 40 lakh was working capital. Now your investment has become 1,50,000. Now your investment has become 1,50,000. And then on this you. Anyone, any doubt? And then you'll find again the NPV. Anyone, any doubt? So adjustment, if you're changing the cost of plant and machinery, so what all gonna change? Your calculation of depreciation will get changed. The adjustment of depreciation will change. Then your salvage value will change, and the initial investment what you're taking to start the plant that will also change. Earlier it was 1,40,000. Now it become 1,50,000. Your salvage value will get changed. Okay, your value of depreciation will get changed. Anyone, any doubt, any question? I hope you understood what all I have done till now in this class. This question came in 2017 for 15 marks. I hope you understood the steps what we followed to get the answer for the problem. So if you have understood everything what I have done, so please click on the like button and please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. Thank you everyone. See you all in next class. Bye.